I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Monday, August the 18th, brought to you in part by Macrocin by Bimeda. Macrocin is proven efficacy at an affordable upfront cost. To learn more about how Macrocin compares head-to-head versus the Pioneer products, go to macrocin.com. Also, Joplin Regional Stockyards in Carthage, Missouri, for the regular Monday feeder cattle auction, they are expecting just 4,000 head, which is a really light run for them. It's going to be really hot, and they're going to start at 6 o'clock in the morning, even though they've got such a light run there. But the cattle are getting scarce out there, more so than the heat keeping them back, guys. There's just not as many of them left to sell. They are having a special cow sale next Thursday on August 27th. It's one of those 4:30 starts, so you want to be thinking about that. And also, they will be closed on Labor Day Monday, so they've only got one more Monday feeder cattle auction after today. So be thinking about that, guys. Choice boxes cracked $4 a pound. That's the biggest story out there. I know we've got the Secretary Rollins talk and everything that going on, but the biggest news last week was that choice boxes broke $4 a pound. That is serious, guys. I think maybe during COVID they may have been higher than that, but other than that, that'd be an all-time record high, guys. You know, we did that at the same time that the kill was a meager 530,000 last week, and that's probably the smallest non-holiday kill in at least 10 years. They're doing that when the choice boxes are $4, and you're thinking, why aren't they killing more? They can't find them. They can't get their hands on them, and I know the market's up, but they can't get them. They can't get the guys to sell them to them. They didn't sell a hoof in Texas last week, not one hoof. Negotiated anyways. Of course, they got some formulated, but didn't get anything sold negotiated. And it's going to be hard to tell how things affect the board really to start the week. That's what everybody wants to know, as we have no feel for the board anymore, and especially the feeder cattle futures. Last week we had those feeder cattle futures for the front month there move $5 in either direction 3 out of the 5 days of the week. I mean, we have no way to tell what's going to happen there. It's just wild, guys. But the live cattle have been a little bit tempered there, but moving well over $2 in every direction there 3 of the 5 days of the week, and we're anxious to see what's going to happen here. Now, the fat cattle market, the market up in the north, the northern plains, might have been a couple bucks cheaper later in the week than what they had sold them earlier in the week, and they had sold quite a few early in the week and then quite a few later in the week. So that could be a downer. But in Texas and Kansas, they hardly sold anything. Like I said, Texas didn't sell any negotiated cattle last week, and Kansas didn't sell theirs until Saturday for the most part, and they sold those at $236, which would have been a few dollars better than what they had gotten them before. So that could be a positive. We don't know how it's going to affect things. Now, a lot of people that were wanting to reopen the border to get those cheap Mexican cattle back in Texas feedlots, they were disappointed on Friday because Secretary Rollins, she made her press release, or press conference, I guess it was, in Austin, Texas, down there with the governor of Texas, and did not say one thing about the border opening. Not whether it was, she just never mentioned opening the border. So most of us feel like it is not likely that the Mexican border will reopen for livestock before the end of the year. Now, she did say that she is taking a real aggressive approach on this New World screwworm, and they are going to be throwing $750 million at it, putting in a new facility in Edinburgh, Texas. That facility will be able to grow 300 of those sterile flies to turn out. But if you listen to Sid Miller, which he's our ag commissioner there, he said he had more statements about this, and he said they are taking a new approach rather than just turning the sterile flies out there, which will eventually work, but it takes too long. He said they are going to be baiting these flies and getting them insecticide, and he says that will kill 90% of them, and then they'll come back behind with the sterile flies, and that'll take care of the rest. Likely this approach won't take as long as just the sterile flies, but it'll be interesting to see how the markets react to this on Monday. But mind you, Secretary Rollins put that out and was completely done with her press conference well before the board closed on Friday, and the board was up big on Friday, and it did not collapse because of this press conference. So we're not expecting that to happen on Monday, even though news like that could, and hopefully in the future Secretary Rollins will wait until late in the afternoon after the board closed, hopefully on a Friday, before she makes big statements anymore, after she sees how much these can affect things. But it'll be interesting to see how we get through the week. I mean, they're always wild anymore, so it'll be interesting to see. We are going to be broadcasting our first sale at Faith, South Dakota on Monday, and they're having their anniversary special. They've got weigh-ups at 8 and feeders at 9 in the morning. You can find it right there on DVAuction.com. They've got 3,000 yearlings coming in off the grass, and that'll be quite a show to see, including Rusty and Julie Foster's 710 black spade heifers. They're going to be coming in. There'll be 9 loads of them weighing at 875, and 2 loads lighter heifers weighing 750 pounds, and then they've got another 150 head of home-raised steers, weigh somewhere between 900 and 1,000. That'll be a real stick-out sale, top sale there. And Faith, South Dakota, they have added DV Auction broadcasting there, and we invite you to get on there and watch, and we want to thank them and let them know we're tickled to have them. So let's talk about your board for last week. August live cattle futures, Monday was up 52 cents, Tuesday was up 275, Wednesday down 27, Thursday down 220, Friday back up 290, with August contracts ending the week at 236 1/4. That was up $3.70 for the week. October ended the week at 230.65, which was up 468 for the week. So still gaining ground, guys. It's just an amazing market. August feeder cattle futures, Monday was up 82 cents, Tuesday was up 5.15, Wednesday was up 50 cents, Thursday down 5.47. It's like a yo-yo. Friday was back up 5.75, with August feeder cattle contracts ending the week at 346.15, up 675 for the week. September ended at 347.35, up 698. Now your grains, December new crop corn futures ended the week at 405 1/4, which was down just 1/4 cent a bushel. Beans for November ended at 1042 1/2. That was actually up 55 cents. And hard red winter wheat for September ended the week at 507. That was down 11 1/4 cent a bushel. Fat cattle trade up through Thursday at 2 o'clock. They had sold 36,700 head, almost entirely in the northern plains. Your prices for fat steers and heifers negotiated direct out of the 5 area ranged from $237 to $246. That was $1 to $4 higher. Your weighted average on live steers was $242.65, 64 cents higher than last week's weighted average at the end of the week. Dress sales ranged from 376 to 390. We'd never heard 390 before. It wasn't a lot of cattle, likely to a regional, but still, when you reach a new high you've never seen before on fed cattle, it's a big deal. And 390 is a brand new all-time record, guys. That was $2 to $5 higher. Your weighted average on dress steers 382.90, up $1.65 compared to the weighted average from the previous week there. Then Friday we had some more trade. Iowa sold 2,900. They'd sold almost 19,000 for the week, and the price on Friday in Iowa was 238 to 245, and dressed it was 380 to 384. Nebraska sold 2,100 on Friday, 21,400 for the week. Live price in Nebraska was 243 only. We had seen earlier in the week where it was 245, so that's some weaker there, guys, depending on how you look at it. Dress sales 380 to 385. Kansas sold 350 on Friday, 1,900 for the week, and like I told you earlier, they sold a few deals on Saturday, but the Saturday trade was at 236. The Friday trade, which was very, very light, was from 230 to 233. But those folks put their heels in the ground and wouldn't trade anymore, especially in Texas, didn't trade at all. So that could be a positive, and that 236 was better. So, but the heck of it is, if people don't watch the feeder flash, how are they going to know about it? They won't be able to know about it until 10 o'clock in the morning, way after the board opens there. But Texas didn't have any confirmed sales last week of fed steers or heifers negotiated. Box beef cutout values, like I was mentioning at the beginning of the report, amazing jump. Your weighted average on all of last week's trade on choice cuts was 391.39. That was up 17.72. You don't see that. And then by the end of the week, Friday afternoon, is when they posted that $400.57 hundredweight there, guys. That was up 9.18 from the weighted average that was nearly $18 higher. That's got to be a positive. Your select cuts, your weighted average on all of last week's sales, 366.17, up 16.62, and by Friday afternoon, that quote was 4.5 or 460 higher than that weighted average at 370.76. Pretty hot dressed beef market there. Choice select spread on your weighted average was 25.22, and all that based on 489 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings, which is extremely light. And is that because they don't have a lot of product available, or maybe they're just trying to get the prices higher and our wholesale buyers are cutting back? I don't know. Remains to be seen. Let's talk about your slaughter for last week. Estimated cattle slaughter, just 530,000. That is nothing. That's 6,000 less than the previous disappointing week, and 75,000 head less than the same week a year ago. That is a ton, guys. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They are working to protect your livelihood. Your real-time index, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer, 7-day moving average through the middle part of the country there, it was 346.11, ending the week there at 346.11. That was up 347 for the week, and that's almost identical to some gains that we've seen last week, just one day, but up 347. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index sitting at 345.75, so it's almost caught up with that real-time index, but still gaining ground in your feeder cattle auctions too. I am coming to you from Orange Beach, Alabama, and I spent my birthday weekend there, had a great time. I want to thank all of you guys. There was hundreds of happy birthday messages, and that is humbling, and I appreciate them all, and I forget how good they make you feel, and I'm kind of weak at that. I don't tell people that I care about happy birthday, you know, when it comes around near enough. I'm going to try to do better this year because it does make a difference. So that's good. I'm going to be speaking at Meridian Livestock cattle auction there in Meridian, Mississippi, I think around noontime or so on Monday. And then later on Monday evening, I'm going to be at Stock Pro Animal Health in Collins, Mississippi. And you guys are welcome to come to that. You know, that sale there at Meridian, they're going to have a pretty good sale. That is owned by my friends Eric Weaver and Molly Herring. They've also got Loosedale, Mississippi, and that is a DVAuction broadcasted sale there. But kind of looking forward to Monday then, and then sometime Tuesday I'll be headed back to Texas. But your cash feeders in your sale barns last week sold $3 to $8 higher. Your calves sold $5 to $15 higher, and in the unweaned calves selling very, very well in many markets. If they'd had a round of shots or two, even better, and might even outsell some kind of roughed up weaned calves there. But I tell you what, I've been saying that here lately. If you're not going to wean your calves before fall, bring them to the sale now. They'll bring more dollars per head totaled up than the ballers will in October, when you got those wide temperature swings and you got so much competition. But this calf market is hot right now, and it is bringing calves to town. They're selling calves that normally don't sell for another couple months. They're selling them right now because they're bringing so much money. Talk about your big sales late last week or over the weekend. How about Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky? They had a whale of a sale, and numerous large strings, load lots and bigger, and it was just on fire there. And it was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Handling Equipment, stick out sale of the day on Friday there. And you look at these big strings, you know, you might think, you know, Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky, you know, they probably sell them all one at a time. Does this look like they're selling them one at a time? No, it looks like they're selling string after string after string, you know, multiple loads in one lot sometimes. I mean, that big sale. And I've mentioned before, it's just about a block and a half off of Town Square there in Richmond, Kentucky. But Jim Doss has a reputation of treating people right around there, and they love to do business with him. And look at these strings of cattle they sold, including in there is 54 head, weighed 1,018 pounds at $318.50. There were 106 head, weighed 965, bring 335. These are individual lots, guys. There were 135 heifers, weighed 805 at 326, and 46 steers weighed 486 at 469. I mean, it was just a tremendous sale there, and good job for them. Some of your individual quotes from all around included Manhattan Commission Company in Manhattan, Kansas. They sold 2 loads of steers, weighed 695 at 385. Thought that was a big quote there. About Fort Pierre Livestock Auction in Fort Pierre, South Dakota. They sold 58 steers, weighed 862 at 358. But the most impressive quote I saw late last week or over the weekend, and it was on Friday, and it was your Macrison No BS top quote for the day, come out of Harried Livestock in Harried, South Dakota. We have never been able to get their quotes through Cattle Market Central, but now that they've added our broadcasting on DVAuction.com, we're getting their quotes through Cattle Market Central. They got the NationalBeefWire board up in their sale barn with all the quotes on there. I mean, it's a good deal, but we're sure glad to have Harriet on. And check out this big quote that they had on Friday. 279 steers, weighed 927 at 351 1/4. And that's your feeder flash for Monday.